Hello and welcome to this special edition of Quizamp. Do you have what it takes to answer these mixed general knowledge questions and become a Quizamp Mega Quiz Champ? I hope so, so let me tell you how it's going to work. For this special edition, we've got 7 rounds of 5 questions each. They're multiple choice. Then we're going to have a rapid fire bonus round of 20 questions. And then, to see if you can become a Quizamp Mega Quiz Champ, we'll have 3 star questions. The aim of the game is quite simple. You just need to score 50 points or more, and then you'll have a choice. You can either play 1 star question, and if you get that correct, you'll be a Quizamp Quiz Champ, or you can take on all 3 star questions, and if you get all 3 correct, you'll be a Quizamp Mega Quiz Champ. So let's take a look at what the subjects are for the first 7 rounds. We have big birds, page to screen, chemical elements, unusual occupations, fictional detectives, guess the book, and human body. I think we've got some interesting ones there for today, so let me remind you of how the scoring works for the first 7 rounds. So it's 2 points if you know the answer before the options are shown, or give yourself 1 point if you needed the options, or no points if you get it wrong. So if you're ready, let's start the first round. What is the world's largest living bird? Your options are emu, ostrich or rhea. The answer, the ostrich. Which large bird is known for being flightless and native to South America? Cassowary, rhea or emu? The answer is rhea. What is the only country in the world where you will find emus in the wild? Australia, Indonesia or South Africa? That is Australia. Which bird has the largest wingspan of any living bird? The harpy eagle, Andean condor or wandering albatross? That is the wandering albatross. What is the only penguin species that can grow up to 1.2 meters tall? If you're not sure, the options for 1 point are king, emperor or rockhopper. The answer, emperor. The questions for these rounds were suggestions from viewers, so if you've got a suggestion that you'd like to make for a future quiz, let me know in the comments down below. Our next round is all about page to screen. That's books that were made into movies. Here we go. The Lord of the Rings movies were based on books written by which author? C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien or Suzanne Collins? The correct answer, Tolkien. Which dystopian novel was made into a 2012 film starring Jennifer Lawrence? The Maze Runner, Divergent or The Hunger Games? That is The Hunger Games. Which novel by Michael Crichton was adapted into a blockbuster film directed by Steven Spielberg? If you're not sure, here's your options. Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark or Schindler's List? That was Jurassic Park. Which Stephen King novel was adapted into a 1980 horror film directed by Stanley Kubrick? Misery, The Shining or Salem's Lot? The answer there, The Shining. The Big Short was based on a non-fiction book about what financial crisis? The dot-com bubble, the housing market collapse, or the Great Depression? That was the housing market collapse. These special editions take a lot of time to make, so if you're enjoying it, please give it a thumbs up, it really does help. Our next round is all about chemical elements. Which element has the chemical symbol O? Osmium, organosine or oxygen? That is oxygen. What is the lightest chemical element? Is it hydrogen, helium or carbon? It is hydrogen. What is the most abundant element in the Earth's crust? Oxygen, silicon or aluminium? That is oxygen. Which element is a noble gas with the symbol Ne? Nitrogen, neptunium or neon? That is neon. Which element is also called wolfram and has the symbol W? Sodium, tungsten or titanium? That is tungsten. Just to let you know, I'm planning a special edition science quiz coming soon, so look out for that. Our next subject is unusual occupations. What does a Cooper make? Barrels, horseshoes or swords? The answer, barrels. A chandler is a person who sells what? Clothes pegs, candles or plants? The answer, candles. What does a Wainwright repair? Paintings, windows or wagons and carts? The answer, wagons and carts. What was the job title of a person hired to wake people up for work in the early 20th century? A knocker-upper, bed kicker or morning banger? And sometimes it's a struggle to come up with incorrect answers. The correct one though is knocker-upper. What is the job title of someone who transforms animal hides into leather? A Baxter, tanner or drayman? That is a tanner. Do you have an unusual occupation? If you do, let us know what it is in the comments down below. Our next round is all about fictional detectives. What detective has a trusty sidekick called Dr. Watson? Hercule Poirot, Sam Spade or Sherlock Holmes? That is Sherlock Holmes. Which female detective is known for solving mysteries in the cosy town of Cabot Cove, Maine? Is that Jessica Fletcher, Veronica Mars or Nancy Drew? That is Jessica Fletcher. Which detective is known for his "just one more thing" catchphrase? Is that Hercule Poirot, Columbo or Kojak? That is Columbo. What is Inspector Harold Francis Callahan's nickname? Is it the Fox, Gumshoe or Dirty Harry? He is Dirty Harry. Which TV series featured undercover detectives Crockett and Tubbs? The options are Miami Vice, Law and Order or Dragnet. The answer is Miami Vice. I think it's lucky that Harold Callahan's first name wasn't Richard. I hope you get that joke. Anyway, our next round is a picture round. I'm going to show you the covers of some old children's books, and your job is to name the book. As this is quite easy, there won't be any clues, so give yourself 2 points if you get the correct answer. So if you're ready, here we go. So have a look at the picture. Can you name this children's book? That is Jack and the Beanstalk. And what about this one? That is Humpty Dumpty. Do you remember these from your childhood? That one is Mother Goose. They're not too tough, are they? That is the Three Bears. And the last one, a little tougher, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Okay, before we get to the bonus rounds, we've got one last round of multiple choice questions. This round is all on the human body. Let's see how you do. What is the basic unit of life in the human body? Tissue, cells, or organs? The answer is cells. Which hormone is responsible for moving glucose from the bloodstream into the body's cells? Insulin, cortisol, or oxytocin? That is insulin. What is the name of the protein that carries oxygen in red blood cells? Integrin, hemoglobin, or fibrin? That is hemoglobin. What type of blood cells are primarily responsible for fighting infections? Red blood cells, white blood cells, or platelets? The correct one there, white blood cells. Located at the back of the head, which part of the brain is known as the little brain? The cerebellum, cerebral cortex, or hypothalamus? It is the cerebellum. I hope you're doing really well and enjoying the quiz. Next up, we have the bonus round. We have 20 questions, they're rapid fire, they're only worth 1 point each, but they're quite easy, and what we'll do is we'll review the answers when we get to the end of the round. So if you're ready, here we go. What does the G stand for in the acronym GOAT? Finish the movie title. Django, what? Caracas is the capital of? What's the common name for Aurora Borealis? Baby sharks are called pups. Is that true or false? How many quarters are in $4? In which war was the Battle of Stalingrad fought? Who does Wile E. Coyote chase? Which Caribbean island is singer Rihanna from? Leonardo da Vinci painted the Sistine Chapel. Is that true or false? Which famous composer became deaf? Chihuahua is a state in which country? What is the Earth's core mostly composed of? Rock or iron? Bronze is an alloy of copper and lead. Is that true or false? Which is a palindrome? Level or straight? What is the most common colour of sapphire? Crocs Inc. is an Australian footwear company. Is that true or false? Who directed the film Jurassic Park? What animal is the most common source of leather? Is a fish a vertebrate? Yes or no? Those weren't too bad, were they? Let's check your answers and see how many extra points you've picked up. The G stands for greatest. That is Django Unchained. Caracas is the capital of Venezuela. Aurora Borealis is the Northern Lights. Baby sharks are called pups. There are 16 quarters in $4. The Battle of Stalingrad, that was in World War II. Wile E. Coyote chases the Roadrunner. Rihanna is from Barbados. Leonardo did not paint the Sistine Chapel. The composer who became deaf, Beethoven. Chihuahua is in Mexico. The Earth's core is mostly iron. Bronze is traditionally copper and tin, so that's false. The palindrome there is level. Sapphires are mostly blue. Crocs Inc. is not from Australia. There was a clue to this earlier. Jurassic Park was Steven Spielberg. Most leather comes from cows. And fish are vertebrates. So that's it for the rounds. Now we have the star questions. Remember, your aim was to score 50 points or more by now. So if you need time to add up your score, just pause the video now. Okay, so if you've scored 50 points or more, now you have a choice. You can either play one star question, and if you get that correct, you'll be a Quizamp Quiz Champ. Or, if you're feeling super brave and super clever today, you can take on all 3 star questions, and if you get all 3 correct, you will be a Quizamp Mega Quiz Champ. So before you make that decision, let's have a look at what the subjects are for the star questions. They are geography, history, and nature. Okay, so are you going to pick one or all 3? Go on, be brave. I'm sure you can do it. They're not too tough. Go for all 3. So if you're ready, let's play the star questions. What is the Scottish word for lake? What was the last country to surrender in World War II? What common beverage is made from the Camellia sinensis plant? Okay, how do you think you did there? Did you get them correct? Let's check those answers and see if you're a Mega Quiz Champ. The Scottish word for lake is loch. The last country to surrender was Japan. And the beverage is tea. So please let me know how you did in the comments down below, but don't share any of the answers because it ruins it for everybody else. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so if you enjoy this type of videos, and I'll hope to see you on a future quiz.